All right, so let's talk about Adobe. Adobe is a really valuable business, and over the last 5 years, investors have really had to exhibit some patience. They sold off in 2022 along with the rest of the technology world, and they really rallied. Early on in the AI craze, they actually had an application, I think it's called Firefly, where you can create images and stuff using their AI. But more recently, I think the threat that, hey, AI is going to make the creative process faster, better, and therefore it's going to eat into the market share that Adobe has, because Adobe, their software tends to be used in digital media, digital experiences, advertising, and so forth. They are the leader in that space. So if that happens, I agree that it's a big threat. Is it happening? Well, I'm not seeing evidence of it just yet. This is a company that continues to grow, and they're a good sized company. So I'm like, the market is betting that AI is going to disrupt them, but we're not seeing the disruption just yet. And I've been using the AI tools, and they're not very good. Like when I create videos and stuff, I try to use them, and they're frankly terrible. And I can show you a few examples. So I'm not quite sure I understand how people are, or I should say, analysts and I guess thought leaders are saying, oh yeah, Adobe's business is going to be severely disrupted. Maybe they are, and I'm just not seeing it. But the reality is I look at their revenue and it continues to grow. And I'll be very interested in seeing how their earnings are announced. It looks like December 11th they announced. So that would put them at March 11th or so is when they're going to announce next. So we're going to be waiting for a little while. But this is one stock that I continue to buy into. And it's really because I've known of Adobe for a long time. I like software companies. As you guys know, I work for a software company. So I understand there's a reason why I wanted to work in this software industry. It's a very profitable business. It offers very good careers, and companies that operate in the software business, they enjoy 89% margins. I mean, look at those margins. And it's pretty simple, because if you write a software application and it's really good and 1 million people want to buy it and you charge them all $100, you don't have to rewrite that application for 100 million people. You don't have to distribute it you don't put much effort because you just have downloads. So everything about this business is highly desirable. And these guys are just super profitable, generating free cash flow, very high margins. Let's take a look at I'd be interested to see how they're buying back shares. That's one thing I didn't look at. Hit the wrong tab. So they're shareholder buyback. So they're buying back 2% of their net profits are being used to buy back shares. Take a look at the share count. So this is one company that, as we look at how AI is really being used and how successful or not successful it is, this is one of the stocks that I'm going to keep tabs on, because how successful AI is and how it's being disruptive is going to affect Adobe or not affect them. But you can see that Adobe has been buying back a good number of shares. Probably about 9% of their shares have been retired by the company. That's pretty good. That means that, close to 10% of their shares have been taken off the market, which should have a positive effect on their stock price. But as you can see, that it's been the opposite. So you have fewer shares outstanding, you have declining stock prices, and you have a business that's growing, that's highly profitable, where they're caught up in this story. And unfortunately, the reality is that the story says that, hey, sorry, Adobe, you're going to be disrupted by AI. Now, is that story going to be reality? We will see. We will see 2025, 2026. We'll see if that does happen. If it does, I guess Adobe's business is going to be disrupted. If it doesn't, maybe this thing bounces back and doubles in value over the next 5 years. So Adobe, I keep looking at it, and on down days like this, I just look at it and go, what am I missing? Other than that story, I understand the story. The fundamentals look fabulous. And look at the forward PE, 21% for a growing software company with high margins. Analysts believe it's a buy and it's discounted, like I do. I'm right there with the analysts. I'm like, it's discounted by 29%. And I'll continue to buy shares. I bought shares yesterday when it was down. I'll continue to buy shares in Adobe.